How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I am your host, Cosmic Ray. Here we go. Okay, so Mystic Wisdom and Treasures. This is for you. And of course, to all the other cosmic surfers out there, wanting to know a little bit more about when it comes to foods along your spiritual journey. So my apologies, as you know, I always do this organically. So there's certain things that I wanted to kind of touch base on, and my apologies if I go off tangent. And hopefully, I actually will hit somewhere in this long thing about foods. So let me give you a little bit of background first. So before spirituality, like back in the day, I would no, don't get me wrong. Being an Asian family, there's certain things they eat that are like in the green type of family. You even eat like a lot of nori, which is like dried seaweed for those of you who are into the Asian. And my mom was kind of like what we always call a rabbit. She always eats vegetables and stuff. So as a kid, yes, it wasn't like this stuff wasn't around me. It wasn't like this stuff wasn't like taught to me. I'd be the kid that was like at the dinner table at the end of the night when everyone's done, and I'd be forced, to eat different foods, vegetables or whatever it is. I'd be the one who found different ways of hiding my food. And I tell you this because there's a reason, okay? And I was definitely meat and potatoes kind of kid when we always went to like, back in the day when it was like fast food and whatnot. Um, I'd always have like French fries, some type of chicken food item, whatever it is, either nuggets, tenders, sandwich, whatever alterations of a chicken. If you go to a restaurant, some type of chicken and some type of fries or potato or something type of thing. And if ever forbid I ever went to those lunch buffet places that had everything, oh man, yeah, I don't even know if I want to go there. But so I would, and then I would also work out. Like by the time, like you have to realize something. Like I was working out since I was in fifth grade elementary school. Okay, that's not a joke. I've been working out ever since then. Learned different types of like things of like growing with weight, without weight, and all this stuff. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. When it comes with the foods, I have had many things of being like known as the picky eater. When we go to different places, like I'd eat only certain kinds of foods. Um, so, even at the time, my this person I was with, let's just say that, was wanting me to eat more different foods. Always even messed with me and said that, why don't you eat other kinds of foods? And this is very hard for me to make food because you don't eat other kinds of foods. And I did. It was just for the majority of times, it's just more like I know what I like kind of thing. And I say that not to be totally negative to this person. It's just you will see how karma and how other things kind of reflect. You'll start to understand it as I progress in the story. Um, so even like grapes, I'll talk about that just for a little bit. I love grapes, or loved in the past tense, grapes. Green grapes, sour grapes, to organic grapes, to seedless grapes, more so than the seed ones. I'm sorry, it's just less hassle. But I also like red grapes. I love purple grapes. I love grape drink back in the day, if anyone knows what that is. Or and I see this with pride, nothing of negative, but even love what we used to call ghetto Kool-Aid back in the day. Like with grape, I love that too. I love these even, I don't know if they call it Asian grapes, but I just always call it Japanese grapes. My apologies if it was called something else, but it's basically these type of like thick, like purplish grapes where you don't really eat the skin, but just the inside. Like you like kind of like suck it out. Anyways, those are great also. And like I said, I was an avid wine drinker. I appreciated wine, not to get like hammered, but I appreciate a nice cab. I definitely love cabs. Merlot, I was more of a cab, like a little bit of the spice, a little bit. Anyways, um, when it came to like greens, I would barely eat greens at times. Like I would, but not as much. Um, and certain things happen. Obviously, spiritual awakening. You already know about that. Just poof. After that, I had this different sense of things. Slightly before, my mother-in-law, which actually, in a sense, I like to thank because she said something to me that kind of offended me back in the day, which was like, why do you eat fake food? And I'm like, like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Are you better than me or something? Like, I didn't understand that, right? I didn't understand that concept of fake food because, as you can tell, like when it comes to, like when you go to the store, why would someone sell you something that wasn't food that was supposed to be food? Why is America allowing food, like I don't know, just say like cracker, I don't know, like chips or cracker, whatever you want to say that's in a box, of kind of food, whatever it is. It could be anything, right? Even like protein bars or something. I don't know, anything, whatever you want to call in a box food. Like it's not real food or fake food. And I was offended. I'm like, well, this is all we eat, or this is what we eat, this is what we afford, or like, like, well, what do you mean fake food? Like, I wouldn't feed my kid fake food. Like, I didn't really understand that, I guess. I just didn't understand what she was getting at, and I always just thought it was more of like an offensive type of thing, like poking at me versus like, oh, I'm high and mighty, I eat this, my body is this. I didn't really get it, okay? So, like, if she ever somehow watches this, you know what I mean. And still, seriously, much love, much candle love, for that. So, because like as I progressed my spiritual awakening, and when it actually like, hit me, because I got another story to tell you guys too about being 33, going through it, and parallel world of Jesus and all this stuff. Anyways, but I was going through it for like 3 years, and then you guys heard my story. What happened, right? This awakening, this full-on awakening, I guess you want to call it. Whew, sorry, feeling something right now. Okay, here we go, guys. So when that happened, other things started happening to me. And when I heard people about being vegetarian and vegan before this happening, like I was like, you guys are weird. What is wrong with you guys? You guys don't like steak? You guys don't like chicken? Like is there something wrong with you? Like, well, what is this? Like, you just choose not to? Like, you guys are crazy. Like, you guys are crazy people. Like, vegetarian, vegan? What the F is that? Like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, so now there's like, then you start hearing about vegetarians and vegans, which one's better, and they have a clash between which one's the right one. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, what is this? Like, you guys are supposed to apparently eating, I guess, whatever healthier, and then this. Like, what can you find that's good? Like, what you can find that's good protein? I used to be that kind of person. Like, well, what can you eat that's not meat? Because apparently meat's the only thing in this world that's got protein, right? Like, I would never eat like Taco Bell. I never eat like beans or anything like that as a kid. Like I just didn't, right? And I would never eat other foods too. So, bam, fast forward, spiritual awakening, right? And when this food comes, right, I started to. Now this is gonna be the weird part. In my most heightened part of the spiritual awakening, I really started feeling animals, very much so that I started to realize what I was doing or what we were doing to animals, how they're being butchered. Now, I've always had a thing for a particular fast food place that only uses its initials usually for their food. And it was the way they dealt with a certain animal with their beaks. I didn't know that as a kid. Well, then when I was a kid, I heard about that. And then I was like, no way, I was done with them. Even though how much I love the chicken. Like, I was done with that. I was like, hi, F you guys. And so there's some of that was still in my mind. And when that spiritual awakening, bam, happened, I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So I definitely stopped fast food a little beforehand. And when it came to soda, that was gone. Like, even like 3, 4 years, 5 years, soda was easier for me to quit more than anything. But I quit soda. The only time I was like maybe like slurping a drink of soda from someone, or maybe if I was really extremely tired, I'm like, okay, I need something for pick me up. But it wasn't like I had my own soda. So I was just like, when it came to foods, I definitely stopped eating meat. I definitely stopped eating chicken. I started eating a lot more vegetables. Like I smelled vegetables, it smelled fresh. I was appreciating vegetables. Like when I cut open like a green pepper, yellow pepper, especially orange and yellow and red, but like the orange pepper just like oh, I was like had this feeling of like oh, like this thing in my heart started like just felt like these little tingles. And I started appreciating Gaia, like, oh, thank you for this food, Gaia. Thank you so much for your beautiful earth. Like, oh, this food is so amazing. It smells so fresh. It smells so great. Thank you from this earth. Thank you for the person who, made this in the farm or who put that work into it. Thank them. Thank you for the people who brought it over. By the time I got to this in my hands, thank you. I started thinking all this stuff, all right? Well, when it came to the food and everything, like just smelling it, like it just started doing things different for me in my mind, just in my heart, like, and then my stomach, like when I was appreciating food before that. Now, see that part about appreciating food, because I'm going to go back to that meat thing in a second. I started to like eating vegetables, started incorporating this. And I remember something from my mother-in-law said about like that whole eating boxed food and stuff. And I was like, huh, I think I know what she was trying to say, but maybe she didn't say it at least the way I wanted to hear it, I guess. But I started to understand that a little bit more. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I understand what she means now by like quote unquote fake food or whatever it is. I also had something about when it came to oh God, when it came to like other foods, like when it came to like my spiritual awakening, when it came to grapes, well, the whole the Nazareth, about the whole, not being around dead body, letting your hair grow, and then not drinking from the vine. Something hit me. Now, I'm not saying like everyone has to do this. Those who do are damned. Nothing like that. This is just me. Okay, everyone's got their own journey. This was just my path currently for myself, for whatever that means. Okay, that was something that was like kind of just given a guidance to me, right? Just this divine ancient wisdom just whoop, thrown down from my crown chakra, right? Something just told me, okay, follow this, follow this, follow this, follow in the guides, follow in the signs of my life, my synchronicities, right? So something already told me, don't have any more grapes. I, in a sense, had to quote unquote give up one of the favorite fruits, the favorite fruit that I ever loved, maybe besides apples, but that was like the favorite thing I had. I gave up, right? I haven't touched grapes ever since, okay? Ever since. Now, when it came with the whole this loving person that taught that made food for me all the time, bless her heart for trying to put up with my crap at the time, um, but I started eating quote unquote healthier foods than her. This isn't a dig on her, I she was inspired more to like make better foods. It was like the one thing she actually wanted. I was able to kind of give out, and then I became something that was like more than maybe she wanted with that. Like I started eating more of that. I didn't eat meat at all. She did her best to keep up, and then she would, and that's okay. I didn't say screw you for eating meat. It's just I was around my kids who still ate meat. My kids still eat meat. I had to be around. I had to be around even cutting the meat. Now this is that whole weird part how like I don't know if there's other vegans or like vegetarians were like this. I heard rumors, but I don't know if they were like, oh, I feel the animal, I feel the sense of the animal dying. And then I started to realize, in my heightened, like most heightened sense, I did kind of feel the animal and their vibrations. I felt that everything had a vibration. I felt the vibration. I started thinking about the whole Nazareth thing about being around a dead body. I don't know if animals were it also, but just being around dead things, what was kind of another thing for me. So like I had to cut the meat, for my kids when I made them food. So I had to like be around that, and that kind of like did make me like feel good. Now, when I say sometimes the whole vegetarian part or slight vegan, like I don't drink milk anymore. I used to love milk like all the time. Cereal, y'all. Like I loved cereal, breakfast, cereal for dessert. Oh my God, cereal. Love you, cereal, when I was a kid. But I don't drink cereal, or I don't pretty much eat cereal that much. Unless I use almond milk. That's pretty much all I use now. I switched from normal milk or 2% to like 1% to like skim milk. Then I had like lactose free milk. And then I have now all I drink is like almond, like unsweetened vanilla almond milk, kind of thing. And so, and that was all I drank. And I gave that to my kids. They love almond milk. Thank the universe, right? Thank God. So that was kind of cool. But when it came to other things, um, my my spouse at the time, she was just kind of just like she knew like everything was changing. I mean, I started eating vegetables more than her. I was looked like I was about to have like an ecstasy when I was like prepping my meals with vegetables, making my own stuff. I mixed fruit with vegetables, like blueberries, blackberries, raspberries into my mix, even strawberries into the mix of, and I don't use, and you guys had even when I was a kid, I was like this about what I'm about to say. I never, ever, 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 ever used salad dressing, right? Isn't that weird? Everyone else in this world uses salad dressing, not me. And that's not a like I'm better than you. It was just more of a isn't that freaking weird, right? Like who does that? Um, so it was just one of those things where um, it was just one of those things where having it kind of messes it up for me. Like I can actually taste the vegetables, like how great, even if it's like I used to eat like now I eat like baby spinach, like baby kale, or even sometimes arugula, which sometimes looks like baby kale. But I always pretty much use baby spinach and then other salad mixes. Doesn't really matter, but that's mainly it. Now I start chopping up like a little bit of carrots, a little bit of beets. Sometimes I'll put in some or a radish. I mean, and sometimes I'll put like some like not cucumber necessarily, like okay, I'm like stuck on stupid right now. Like squash, like I'll have some squash. Sometimes, I'll have some of that, green squash. And then I'll have like yellow, red pepper, like I was saying, yellow, red, orange peppers, into the mix. I'll start, even if I get like a chicken fix, even though I know it's not like, quote unquote real food or whatever you want to call it. I'll have like a Boca type burger or like one of those vegan type, meals. So it's like chicken or like ones that look like a hamburger kind of thing. And I still barbecue for my kids, on the barbecue. So that's that. Um, and then my family. Okay, so let's see. So I talked about the whole understanding what the whole real food and what processed foods were. And keep in mind, if you are still eating that, that's okay. I'm not here to just be like, shame on you. You shouldn't be eating these type of foods. Oh, you be damned. No, this isn't one of those. Okay, I just wanted to kind of just let you know what was going on with me and then the foods. I realized eating those foods made me healthier. I had some stomach things going on when I was at work. It was like stress and then other things going on. And I realized like I would eat kind of like the same foods over and over and over again, and I had to switch it up. And then when everything happened, my spiritual awakening and all this stuff, I switched up my food, switched up my diet. It was like a boom, like 180, like everything changed. I started feeling like more vibes around me when I ate vegetables. When I started eating, like I started smelling, my smell was more enhanced. I felt like I was like an X-Men or something, right? I felt like like I had like these more spiritual abilities even more. I smelled like when I smelled the air, it was a different smell. I would smell the bad stuff. I would just smell everything and anything. Even people who didn't shower, people who like just took a crap, like I smelled them, like that's how good it was. People like when ladies are pregnant and they have like that super senses and everything else is heightened. It's kind of like that, but obviously I'm not a girl, but it's that kind of like sense. Everything was enhanced, right? My eyes, everything, smell, hearing, everything was enhanced. My touch, I started feeling more vibes around me. I started to actually feel vibrations off of stuff. Like right now, I can even feel things off of like inanimate objects to real life objects. I can feel like heat sources, obviously from like humans, from other things. But like I can like smell things. I can feel like when the ground's shaking more. Like I can feel other things. Like when I worked out, I was never someone that like had been like, oh, I have to like carb it up today, or I have to have this carb load, or drink this like whey protein. The closest thing I had was like one of those. Man, I don't even know what they're called anymore. I used to have them like all the time. These like not muscle milk, but something kind of similar to that. Type of like shakes. I had one of those like every so often when those are like pre-made. Those were pretty good for a while, but I didn't even drink those anymore. Then I started drinking the vegan version of those, and then I stopped drinking those too altogether. Then once in a while I'll have like a vegan type protein bar, but other than that, like I start eating more black beans, more beans. I eat more garbanzos. I even eat like just eat like just different kinds of vegetables. And my family, woo, when it came to Thanksgiving, the type of person that always eat turkey, always eat all this random stuff, ham and everything, like I stopped. And they knew right then and there something was up. They knew something was different about me. Now, Mystic Wisdom and Treasures, I don't know if this is where you wanted me to kind of go into, but during this time, everyone, my mom, who always wanted to get me to eating, like quote unquote healthy, from everyone else, I'm always wanted to see me eating healthy. Started for me to eating salads, all this mixed stuff. I brought my own salad to eat. I brought all this just in case they put salad dressing in it. And I even before my spiritual awakening, even if there was salad dressing in something, I wouldn't eat it anyways. So, like it just tasted. I tasted the green. Like I love that stuff. Like I know a lot of people just hate it. They think it's dry. Like I love it. And when you have it with the fruit, that's where you get your juices kind of in a sense in that mix. And it tastes so great. If you guys haven't tried it with like some raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries into your salad, oh man, just gonna blow your mind. It's just like the most amazing thing ever. And then, I have different alterations of that. I'll even have like salads with like rice. Anyways, back to the point. Sorry to get off tangent there. So with them, they all had their own viewpoints, right? They know obviously eating these kind of foods was healthier, right? But it was one of those, holy blank, Raymond is eating vegetables, more vegetables than they would ever eat, more different types of vegetables they would ever eat. Like, holy crap. And everywhere we went, at first they're like, "Oh, he's going through a phase, everyone. He's going through, whatever it is." And man, let me tell you that first Thanksgiving, and this wasn't the recent one. This was like this was like I guess 2 Thanksgivings ago. Um, that was a horrible one for me because I didn't drink at all, no wine, no beer. Um, it was one of those things I started learning about control more so than others, where I started seeing things of like, oh, that's my dad in you. Like, what are you doing? Like, I started understanding about that stuff. I don't want to talk about that. Anyways, like, I started understanding about things, and I stopped drinking. And it wasn't like one of those, like, I got drunk so much I just had to stop drinking. Like, I just didn't want to. I was done. I didn't want to drink. Like, I found like eating these vegetables, having like this more of a more freer lifestyle. I stopped eating like chocolates, candy, all that stuff, and then over time, I did start eating chocolate or dark chocolate or like cacao powder, like 100% cacao powder. If I have chocolate, it's usually dark chocolate, if anything. When it comes to milk chocolate, I'm kind of like Reese's always have like a weak spot. Cookies, I always say I'm like a bad vegan because when it comes to, like I was telling you in like another video beforehand, everyone, that it comes like someone's trying to make something nice and it's like a cake or like a cookie. I forgot about like what's put in there, like butter, like, oh, it comes from cows, all this stuff, egg, oh crap, whoops, wait a minute, like I'm a bad vegan, so I don't want to say I'm a vegan or vegetarian. Let's say I try to eat healthy, okay? I try to eat vegetables and pretty much, just no meat, I guess, and I just try to eat healthy. So I guess this veganese is what I am. And during this my veganese state, my family's noticed a difference, and they asked me about these labels, and I'm like, I don't know what I am. I'm like, I'll be honest, because they throw cookies at me. I'm like, oh, I'm eating it, but I'm like, oh, no. But yes, I'd realized other things would do a little bit to my stomach over time. When I started eating more healthy, I started having more of a transition in spirituality and stuff. And of course, I found out I dialed back when I would eat other chocolates that wasn't dark chocolate, or say like the 90% chocolate or 85%, I guess, and above. If I ate something else or a milk chocolate, it would kind of do a little bit to my stomach. Halloween was like a good testament for me to be able to know what kind of stuff I could eat and not eat, which I realized it does take me down to like a different chakra type of system, brings me down a little bit, which I realize it's not what I like anymore. But everyone's opinions was out there, and overall it was healthy. So like I said, at that time they're like, maybe he's going through a phase. Then we would go out to dinner at a Japanese restaurant. He always usually orders a certain kind of food, Japanese food, and they're like, you didn't order that. Why didn't you order that? Like what happened? I even tried to eat fish, and for me, like Japanese, right? Fish. So like I even tried it just to kind of please someone because they're like, "Oh my god, you're eating sushi," and then they're like, then I would try. I'm like, I can't eat. I don't think I can even do sushi anymore. Like that's still to me an animal. Like I can't do it, right? So I can't even do that. So I had to try different food items at a restaurant. I'd be chowing down on the edamame, right? I'm like, but there's other foods. Anyways, but when they see them at Japanese restaurants or other restaurants, or even breakfast places, and I'd always order a certain type of, like eggs, hash browns, maybe some bacon, some like maybe pancakes. I don't know, depending on how hungry I was. And then, but they realized I would stop doing that, and and every time like I kind of falter to the like stuff that maybe usually was made with milk or slightly butter, I do realize I feel horrible at the end of the day. Not horrible like for the animal as well, but just my body, my state of mind, my emotions, everything is horrible. Like it brought me down to like a darker place or something. I don't know why. But everyone else it was mixed. My friends were like, "Holy crap! Like no way you're eating this stuff. Like dude, you're fucking." And obviously I lost weight. I lost like other things, but I also look. I've always worked out. But the thing is now, I look way better now and I weigh less weight than I ever did in like high school or for anything of that. And you're talking to someone that played football, played sports, did weightlifting, like all this stuff. And I was like, I was big and I was also just like kind of like more toned out. Now I'm like more toned out and I don't really care about weight anymore. Like I don't sit myself have to be on a scale. Like I don't do that. I haven't done that for a long time, and I don't care. It's like unless I feel like there's something wrong with me, if I'm fainting or doing other stuff, because I also do fasting, at times too. Just spiritual fast. I do water. Sometimes I'll do 24-hour fasts. But if I know I've done some like good fast, like in the week, then I won't do like that one fast a week, which I usually would do like a 24-hour fast. Um, But if I know if I fasted throughout the week, like a little bit, like good hours, like like if I did like 14 to 16 hours or something, then then I won't like do my 24-hour fast. So so just to let all cosmic surfers, like you do you, like I don't want to hear and tell you have to. I will tell you that from someone for almost all their freaking life, from well more past 30 years of their life, that I've eaten this way, and I can tell I feel so much better just from my personal experience. It wasn't an easy thing. I had to figure out, other things to eat. I had to change my diet. I don't go to fast food anymore, and that's no dig on you. It's just I'm just letting you know. I'm just telling you. I don't go to fast food anymore. I go for my kids if necessary, but they kind of know where I'm at with that, and they kind of know about these certain kind of foods that kind of just. Well, now I feel like I was doing like what my mother was saying, like where they kind of somewhat poison you or poison your mind, and I realized some of these foods kind of do, and it was hard for me to believe it. I felt like I'm like, man, how dare you to judge me? Or I felt like, it was like a personal attack, but I kind of realized what she was trying to get at. And, maybe it could have been done a different way, but it doesn't matter now, right? So I realize now, like, for me, it's easy to eat these kind of foods now. Like, I love eating these type of foods. Once in a while I'll smell, I'm like, I can smell that meat, or I can smell food on someone when they ate it a while ago. I can just smell it. And sometimes I'm like, oh no, like, oh, thank goodness I don't eat that anymore. Or like, oh, it doesn't do me right. It doesn't do me justice. Gives me like, disturbs my stomach. I'm like, oh. But I'm always around it. My family, respects the fact that I'm eating healthier. They understand that this world is somewhat slightly changing a little, and there's other people that are labeled vegetarian or vegan, and that's cool if you want to be. I have to look for those labels when I go eat places, right? Or when I check my food and see if this the tortillas I'm eating or the fajitas I'm about to picking up, if they're going to be vegan or not, or if they're made from like plant-based stuff or not. And I do look out for that kind of thing. So there's like the other day I went to some or some place, and I ordered like a black bean and rice type of burrito, and I realized there was cheese in there, and I was eating it. I'm like, this tastes different. Like, what is this? Like, oh, this thing's got cheese. Like, oh, I didn't even realize. And I don't eat cheese. I don't. It was just I didn't know this particular thing that I was eating had cheese. I didn't. It didn't cross my mind. I was just not thinking about it, and I realized, oh, I gotta take that out next time or something. But everything else is great. So it's just one of those things where I'm slowly understanding. Everyone's understanding. Everyone's going through it. And I feel like, yeah, hopefully your family's not judging you, or anyone, your friends, or anyone's not judging you for that. And it's just one of those things where, you'll just have to deal with it over time, and just know that you're doing you, and that you're feeling great. And it's like one of those things where like you want them to, you just want them just to try it out for like a good couple of weeks, so you know what it's like, or they know what it's like. It's like, oh, I'm sure it's gonna change you're gonna change your mind. Oh, you're gonna, once you start, I joked around with my family. I was like, if you just start eating this, you'll have superpowers. Like, you will have superpowers beyond your belief of everything. Because if you think about it, way, way, way back in the day, they didn't have these processed foods. They ate natural food that live off the land. Now, going back to that meat thing, right? Okay, really quick. Shamans. I've said this in the video, but so this is, I don't dig on anyone who eats meat, because shamans back in the day would go through shamanic experiences deep in their journey before the hunters would go out, and they would specifically tell them where to go, where this specific animal who's going to give up their soul, give up their life to be sacrificed amongst for their family, and then for the people that are hunting this animal. Like, say, for example, say it's like a boar or a pig or something, right? They would go in deep and visualize where it is, and then they would tell the main person that's hunting in the tribe, they would go and they would kill that animal. Now, that animal technically sacrificed itself. Now, if you go really deep regarding food, about how animals are killed, I don't know if you guys want me to do that or not, but really quick, when sometimes the animal gets killed, or if it has an idea it's going to die, if you knew you were going to die, you'd be freaking out, like, oh shit, I'm about to die, oh my god, and all this, things will come up, right? Tensions and everything. Like, I don't think you would taste good to someone that's like all tensed up and all this blood and adrenaline flowing through your body, right? Well, same thing with animals, right? No one thinks like that, because they're like, these animals are dumb. They're not going to have any feelings. Fuck that, right? Well, they do. And that's what happens when they're killed, quote unquote, inhumanely. And with shamans and whatnot, like back in the day, or even currently on some other indigenous tribes, like when they do that, they go out and kill the animal. That animal is giving itself up. It knowingly knows this, right? So when they eat their food, that's why these indigenous tribes are still going hard and they're still spiritual. And if you think, oh, a spiritual person wouldn't eat, meat or anything, no, 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 that's incorrect, right? Everyone has their own journey. Everyone does them. Okay, maybe what you not like you, but like maybe them like are just going through their own journey, and other people can eat meat and some don't want to, and that's on them. And when you're ready to make that transition, you make that transition. If you don't, then you don't. Okay, you do you. You do you. All right. So that's why I said like it's okay if it's done in a humane way, in a sense. I mean, personally, I don't. I still don't. But there is a way to bless your food. As I don't want to say it, everyone can. I think everyone can. If you've done probably some. If those of you out here who are into like Reiki or shamanism, like myself, from the heart, pull that white light, pull or whatever light energy from above coming down, or maybe from the center of you and coming out. Put your hands down on the food with this perfect intent, be grateful, get in the state of mind, the heart of being grateful and love, and start appreciating the food. Say it out loud. Grateful for God, grateful for whatever, grateful for, like as if you're saying grace, but in a different way, and that you just bless the food. So if it is meat, I would say bless this whatever, like pig if it's a bacon, or cow if it's burgers or steak or something. Bless whatever. For giving up its life, for this life to be able to come and give itself up. Then here I am, be able to eat this and take it inside me. So now it's a part of me. Eating this is going through my bloodstream. This animal hopefully didn't die in an inhumane way. Now, and then you put your hands out, you feel that energy coming through your arms, through down your fingertips, it's like it's coming out. As if you put your hand near a light bulb or a heat source. You feel it, right, before you touch it. It's like that, but it's coming out of your hands onto the food. You come with that great intent, that love. I do this to my food too sometimes, or even to my plants. But like when you do that, put your hands on it, and you, with that love, you give like, some, maybe like a minute, you don't want to stand forever, but you do that. And it goes into your food and you thank the food, and then as it goes down, then who knows? I feel that it may do something different for you. It may do something a little bit better for you. But if you still realize that it's not, then you may, I don't know, you may start to get in that now. This is your realization moment of like, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I need to rethink this. And that's okay. Look, you're preaching to the choir, right? Like man, I'm the director of the choir. I've been through all this. I'm that meat and potatoes guy. I was the guy who made fun of vegetarians and vegans, right? For on many levels. And then here I am, bam. I don't like gluten. Like what? If I was eating bread, it's like sprouted bread now. It's just random. I don't eat peanut butter anymore. I don't know why. I used to love peanut butter. Now it's almond butter. I'm a no stir guy, by the way, just to let you guys know. I screw that stirring crap. And anyways, I still have to stir regardless. But anyways, all that, it's like the type of jam. If I have like a almond butter and jam kind of thing, I have to eat organic type of stuff. The more organic, the better. Not all my vegetables are organic, or vegetables I have and fruit. Sometimes when you go to that happens. So just letting you know. Anyways, I just want to say much love to you all who are doing a different sense of diet to yourself. Not like going on a diet, but like changing your eating habits. Here's something for everyone. Eat to get filled, not to get full. That is one thing I would love to share with this universe and for you cosmic surfers, is to eat to get filled, not to get full. Okay, so that means I used to how people kind of eat like as if it's Thanksgiving every single day, like your stomach is stuffed and they can't move. I feel that's like beyond, because you're pushing your stomach to its limits, so all the blood and everything rushing to your stomach, and you're like, oh, you just pass out, right? Well, just eat enough till you feel like you're good. Like you still move around and do stuff, right? Then you could always eat later, then or eat another time, or eat a little bit throughout the day if you can. Yeah, I always feel like in this world of like foods and stuff, where like, you have like these fast food places that have like extra large this. Don't get me wrong, as like human beings, you work so hard for your money that you want more bang for your buck. Of course you want more, because you want to, you spend so much, you want to be able to get a little bit more. You want to go to those places that give you more for that amount of money, But then if you just kind of just realize what you're doing to yourself. Not for everyone, just for you who really care. You do you, and I just wanted to say that, just start to realize, okay? If you feel like sluggish, or if you feel like something's up, or you feel like, man, I shouldn't have it, I shouldn't have that food, then slowly think of yourself, maybe you shouldn't next time. Maybe start to realize, don't fill yourself too much on the extra large or whatever it is. Just maybe get a medium, or maybe just get a large. Then you start realizing, maybe I'll just go to a medium. Maybe I'll just go to small. Maybe I won't have soda. Maybe I won't have this food. Maybe I'll just have that food. And you start to just realize with certain things that's good for you, or that that you do you. Okay, I don't want to say anything like you have to eat this way. But hey, if you haven't, give it a shot. Who knows? You may have some superpowers you didn't even know about. So, Cosmic Surfers, love to much all of you who are watching this. And to those of you who aren't Cosmic Surfers, which I know you already are, if you do comment, please comment on this video. Please let me know your thoughts. Please let me know if you've tried different types of just vegetables, or start eating a different way, or a different healthier lifestyle, or whatever it is. Say you still eat like crap, and you still feel the spiritual of everything, of all this stuff, then you probably still can, and I'm sure there are people that are out there. Some people can't help it, and some of us are not even called upon to not eat the meat, kind of thing. They're called, like, it's still okay. And like I said, it's still okay. It depends how you do you, and you may know where you get your food from. You may know how it's being killed and done, and maybe it's done in a different way, or maybe it's like what people say, is it kosher? Is that the right way? My apologies if I offended someone, but like, is it right? It's like supposed to, like, quote unquote, the right way of like cutting, or eating, or like, I don't want to say killing, I know it sounds bad, but like murdering. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. So that was total joke. But like, how you process, that kind of stuff. So, all right, love all, peace, Cosmic Surfers, stay fly, whatever that means to you. Stay fly.